today. Instead of just saying, I need help, give them specifics so they know where to start. Number 4, take time to take care of yourself every day, no matter what. Taking time for yourself will allow you to be a better caregiver. It's important that you have time to sleep, seek your own medical needs, and maintain your own health by spending time doing things you enjoy yourself and find fit. Often we say, oh, well, we don't have time in the day. We all go to the washroom. You know what? Take an extra 5 minutes in the bathroom just for yourself so no one can bother you. Number 5, try to be aware of your own limitations. Learn how to recognize the signs of stress and develop strategies to help you manage it. Number 6, seek out and accept support. You might find it helpful to seek out and talk to others who have been through what you're doing. There's many community organizations, like I'm sure even the one that you're involved in here, that are valuable resources and have support for caregivers. There's also l'Appui, which is a Quebec organization that offers free counseling over the phone for any caregivers and helps you identify resources in your community. And number 7, communication. Keep your communication open. Be aware that challenges and emotions experienced during the time of illness can easily affect relationships between family members. Take steps early on communicating and being open and being constructive, and set plans. If you set up your plans early as a family, as things get more involved or more intense, you'll already have your plan and you don't need to panic or just rush into your decisions. As a caregiver, the stress of additional responsibilities and emotions that go along with providing care for someone who is ill takes an incredible toll on you without even realizing it. So if I told you, everybody, that you need to take 1 day off a day if you're a caregiver, how would you spend your time away? It's important to have that documented and write it down. So when that opportunity comes up and you have your self-care time or your time for yourself, you won't be sitting there spending most of the day wondering, what should I do? I don't know what I want to do anymore. Have a plan, set it up and get going, and take that day off. And even if it's you tell your daughter, you know what, come stay with grandma today because mom needs a day for herself. So now we're going to talk about something that often is a difficult topic for people, whether it's making the decision of staying home, assisted living, or a nursing home. How do you choose? I can't stress the importance of this too, as plan early, set the goals, and see what resources are available to you from the beginning, because you don't want to make these decisions when you're in a crisis state, because then you're stuck just picking the first one that becomes available. If you have assisted living as a plan, start looking early before you even need it. So when you're ready to go, or you want to go, or the time has come, you know where you want to go. We'll start with nursing homes. They're both private and public in Quebec. You have the option. If you want to go through the public route of long-term care facilities, these are often for seniors with more complex medical needs, requiring 24-hour medical supervision. So anyone with advanced dementia, seniors that are bedridden, or seniors who require more than 3 hours of medical care a day go into long-term care facilities. This is often a living environment with seniors with significant loss of autonomy. Nursing homes have more of a hospital-like feel to them, with hospital beds, medical equipment, nurses, PABs on site. For placement in a long-term care facility, if you're going through the public route, you need to have an evaluation done by a social worker from your local CLSC. They will come into the home, do the evaluation, and determine the right home, and will put you on waiting list. Unfortunately, we don't always get to go to our first choice when you're on a waiting list. Sometimes if the need is urgent and they need to get the person out of the home, sometimes you're placed in a hospital until you find the right home. There are about 60 residential centers on the island of Montreal that are public, and there are 35 private. Private ones don't require CLSC involvement. You can go there and they have social workers on site, or they actually have like real estate brokers for long-term care facilities that will come into the home and review what's important to you as a family. When choosing a private one, you have more say of where you go, what areas you choose. But again, if there's no bed available, you'll be put on a waiting list. So this is why it's important to, if you see that this is where you're going and you're eventually going to end up needing to be in a long-term care facility, plan early, pick the one you want, and if you need to, maybe go on those waiting lists so you're not having to be put into a hospital while you wait. The fees for public long-term care facilities, often there's a misconception that even the public ones are free, but they're not free. The fees range from about $1,900 for a single room and $1,200 for a room with 3 beds or more. The actual fee is determined on your income. So This what happens is the government will look at how much you're making with your pension, and they'll actually hold your pension to pay for the rooms. They won't go for the family to pay the additional supplement, but they'll take all of your pension to pay for the home. When you're looking at private unfunded CHO facilities, the facility usually sends a cost of monthly rent. Those, depending on the number of hours of care that the person needs per day, can change. Sometimes we've seen some that there's a range of about $6,000 a month, depending on the care that you need. Assisted living is becoming very popular now in Montreal. We see these new assisted senior 55 plus homes coming up on every corner now. They are more facilities for people who don't have very much medical need or maybe just need some light assistance throughout their day. Assisted living is for providing seniors more with a quality of life. They might still need some care, so there are PABs and RNAs that usually live on site and that can help you with simple tasks as helping with hygiene assistance in the morning or medication reminders, but you can pretty much live independent because you're living in condos. You have your own kitchen, you have your bedroom, you're almost living on a resort. Some of these places have indoor pools, they have gyms, they have activities, there's a calendar full of things to do. They're less focused on nursing and healthcare and more supporting residents to maintain a safe environment with a high degree of autonomy. So they're really focusing on keeping you autonomous. I know some of them have like Tai Chi classes, they have trips to the casino. The benefits of assisted living is it becomes more fun and social. You're living there, but you're living with people every day, so you have less of that isolation. So for seniors who live in a home alone and don't like being alone and their kids don't have the time to go visit them all the time and they just want to have more social activities, but it's hard for them to get out of their home, retirement homes sometimes fit that need. A lot of the retirement homes also have like a convalescence floor. So if you do become ill and you need that extra medical care, you don't need to move out of your apartment. They'll actually take you on another floor and help you through your rehabilitation until you're able to go back into maintaining your independence. They also have access to meals. So if one day you don't feel like cooking supper, you just go downstairs to the lobby and you have dinner with your friends. They have weekly housekeeping plans, bedding maintenance, clothing maintenance. They help with your medications. A lot of them even have pharmacies on site, so your medications. So everything is all in that one building. A study by the Quebec Regroupement of Retirement Homes actually showed that 95% of people who lived in those homes were actually very satisfied. And they learned that 97% of them feel safe and 95% of them feel they can live their lives freely. The cost changes depending where you go and the type of activities that are available. There are some that are very basic and offer just the condos with some of the assistance. They don't have the indoor pool or the game rooms. So you're looking at costs anywhere between $3,300 a month to about $1,100 a month. And this includes all services, but anything else you want additional. So if you need additional medical support, if you need medication management, those are additional costs that the home would charge as well. The next option obviously is the one that most people prefer, and studies have shown that 95% of people would choose to stay at home, is home care. There are a lot of different services that we don't know of. A lot of people think that it's just offered by the local CLSC to come in and give the home side. The downside of the CLSC is often there's long waiting lists depending on the type of care you need and the areas you live in. The CLSCs are not, every CLSC has their own waiting list, their own services that they can provide, so it's not even the same. So you might live in LaSalle and someone in Lachine will have different services than you. The alternative is to supplement with private home care, which we all know can get expensive. Home care and community care, though, is flexible and is adapted to your needs, where CLSC, you don't choose who comes to your home. You might get somebody different every day. So if you're getting hygiene assistance 3 times a week, all 3 days you might see somebody different. With private home care, you have pretty much guaranteed to have the same person each time unless they get sick and they send somebody else. Private home care also, you choose the care plan, you choose the services you want. It's not determined by saying, well, you're going to get a 15-minute shower once a week. You could say, you know what, I want my shower 3 times a week, so they'll send somebody 3 times a week. There's also different services. There's not just home care. You can also get physio at home. You can get osteo at home. You can get mental health support at home, nursing care. There's even palliative and end-of-life care support at home as well. There's so many different lists, but there's also adult day programs. So you don't necessarily need to have private home care. If you just want to get out and get involved in activities or learn new skills, The Alzheimer's Society has lots of programs for caregivers to go in and learn how to help someone with Alzheimer's, so you can keep them home longer, because sometimes it's just a matter of learning new skills to help you in this support. There's a lot of benefits to having home care, but there's a lot of things that you need to be cautious with as well. There's so many home care agencies. So ensure to choose a home care agency that's accredited by Accreditation Canada. There's a lot of private caregivers out there that will come to your home and you can pay them cash and they'll help you. But the problem with that is, one, we all know paying for something cash on the side is illegal. There's no background check, so you don't know if they have any criminal records. If the caregiver is sick, you're stuck. There's no one there to come in and back them up. But also, there's tax credits that I'm going to talk about next that you're eligible for if you do choose to stay at home to help you pay for private home care services. When you're looking at choosing a home care agency, ask them, what kind of services do they provide? What happens when someone's sick? What happens if you need more support? If you're going away for vacation, you need to increase your hours or you need to decrease your hours. Ask them also, what is the qualification of their staff? What is their background check? Do they do background checks? Or do you have accessible to know what information are you able to get on your care providers? Is there a minimum or maximum number of visits? A lot of agencies have minimum number of hours per day. So this will play into the cost. Are there taxes to be paid? There's a lot of home care agencies that are not-for-profit, so you don't pay additional taxes. Others that are not non-for-profit, on whatever fee you're paying, you're going to pay the taxes, so an additional 15%. What if you need to cancel services? We all know we don't choose when people get sick and need to go to a hospital, so what is a cancellation policy? If something happens in the middle of the night and you need to cancel your services the next day, what is their policy?